At TAS TV, every dream deserves a chance. We believe that the next great presenters and reporters starts with an opportunity.
A very good afternoon and thank you for joining us for 3 p.m. news.
Nikiripotia runinga ya TAS, mimi ni Komen Masi.
That is why our attaches aren't just here to learn. They are given priority to create, host and deliver real television shows.
What's up? Karibuni sana kwenye sayari ya mapenzi.
And welcome again to the final whistle whereby football never sleeps.
Karibuni sana hapa kwenye Urban Connect.
We will be welcoming you to our show that is the Sabbath welcoming. Here, talent is discovered, skills are sharpened, and confidence comes alive on screen. Contact us on +254 798 154 042 or send us an email at tastvkenya@gmail.com. You can also visit us at Nema Plaza, 2nd floor along Kenyatta Highway in Thika Town. Join TAS TV, where your dream is our vision.
This week on News Recap, politics took a new turn.
DCP blames the government of not delivering what they promised.
Health concerns sparked a fresh conversation.
The big questions remains to Kenyans. Is SHA still working?
Security issues continued to make headlines. And groundbreaking discoveries captured global attention. These are the stories shaping our world. News Recap, where the week's biggest story come together.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Wednesday edition of the 3 p.m. news. I'm Victoria Mnyazi
And I'm Mwangi.
and it's a pleasure to have you with us. Coming up in this bulletin, we bring you the latest headlines making news across the country and beyond. Let's begin with today's top stories.
This week on News Recap, politics took a new turn.
DCP blames the government of not delivering what they promised.
Health concerns sparked a fresh conversation.
The big questions remains to Kenyans. Is SHA still working?
Security issues continued to make headlines. And groundbreaking discoveries captured global attention. These are the stories shaping our world. News Recap, where the week's biggest story come together.
Kenya Kwanza leaders have thrown their weight behind President William Ruto, promising to secure him a second term in office.
The pledge comes as the coalition steps up in political messaging ahead of the next election.
While addressing supporters in Embu during a church function, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki declared that keeping Ruto in leadership for another term is the alliance's top priority.
His remarks underscored Kenya Kwanza's determination to rally grassroots backing and projecting unity within the ruling coalition.
Our reporter John Mathia has more.
Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has called on Kenya Kwanza leaders to remain united as the country gradually shifts towards preparations for next year's general election. Speaking during a public function, Kindiki urged leaders and supporters of the ruling coalition to close ranks behind President William Ruto, expressing confidence that the alliance has what it takes to secure another electoral victory and deliver the president a second term in office.
Kama tulishinda siku ile Uhuru Kenyatta alikuwa mstakiwa Hague wakiwa na William Ruto. Hii ya next year ni mambo kidogo, my friend. Just pray for good health. Peke yake na Mungu tu, kibali ya Mwenyezi Mungu. The rest is easy. Kuna watu watashangaa.
He said cohesion within the coalition would be crucial as political campaigns begin to gather momentum. Kindiki encouraged readers to focus on the government's development project records and engagement with Kenyans instead of internal political divisions.
So there is nothing that can divide us. Na wale watu wanafikiri wataleta hasara hapa ya watu kuongea different languages, wa relax. Na waambiwe sasa hivi Deputy Rais ni fireman na atahakikisha kwamba jamii yote tutatembea pamoja.
During the event, Embu Senator Alexander Mudingi said President William Ruto deserved to be rewarded with votes in the 2027 general election, arguing that the administration had initiated and implemented several development projects in Embu County since taking office. Mudigi also urged residents to back the president's re-election bid, saying continued support would allow the government to complete ongoing projects and roll out more development initiatives.
Mambo ya kilimo, mambo ya barabara, mambo ya maji, kwa hii kipindi ya miaka 4 hii serikali imetutendea mazuri na mema.
I have no regret. Hata kama tungerudi nyuma tena, I have no regret working with the government of President William Ruto. No regret.
The deputy president also criticized former deputy president Rigathi Gachagua, who is the party leader of Democracy for the Citizens Party, DCP, over his reaction to the Ol Kalou by-election outcome. Kindiki dismissed claims that the by-election result was a reflection of the likely outcome of next year's general election, arguing that victory in single constituency should not be used to predict the national vote.
Hatutakosa kitu ya kuambia raia kwa sababu we have gone out of our way to do our best. Ile imebaki sasa ni kuweka watu pamoja namna hii na kuelewana, alafu tunasonga mbele. Next year ndio tupatie William Ruto another term.
He maintained that Kenya Kwanza remained focused on strengthening its support across the country and was confident of mounting a strong campaign ahead of the 2027 polls. Reporting for TAS TV Kenya, my name is John Madhia.
Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has reportedly directed his political allies to stop the attacks on Deputy President Kithure Kindiki in what could signal a shift in the ongoing political rivalry within the Mount Kenya region.
Gachagua's call comes amid heightened political activity and growing divisions among leaders, with his allies previously criticizing Kindiki over his political stance and relationship with the Kenya Kwanza. Mwangi with more.
Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has reportedly directed his political allies to stop the attacks on Deputy President Kithure Kindiki in what could signal a shift in the ongoing political rivalry within the Mount Kenya region.
Na huyu wakili ya Ruto anaitwa Abdunasir aliandika jana asubuhi, sijui kama mlisoma. Alimuita Quack and something else. Akasema this is unexpendable. He is of no value. Nimepata habari vile walikuwa wananikosea heshima hao wa Kalenjin, wameanza kumtesa huyu Kindiki hapo, kumkosea heshima. So we professor, you are our son. I want to tell you because you are our son. Ukipata shida hapo mbele, because utapata. Welcome back home.
Gachagua's call comes amid heightened political activity and growing divisions among leaders, with his allies previously criticizing Kindiki over his political stance and relationship with the Kenya Kwanza administration. The latest directive is seen as an attempt to ease tensions and redirect focus toward broader political priorities ahead of the 2027 general election.
The way I can see watu ya ODM wanaongea wakitaka hii kiti ya running mate, vile mimi naona watu ya Western wanaongea wakitumia hii maneno ya Ol Kalou. I have sent watu wa son Professor Kithure Kindiki to be careful. Hii maneno ya mandege, be careful. Be careful. Hii maneno ya chakula, be careful. Because at the end of it all, he is still our son. Si mtoto wetu. Na mimi ndio nataka kuomba vile wameanza kumulima na nimeona wanampangia for now, ndio kama atakuja nyumbani asikuwe uncomfortable. Sasa tungangane na Kasongo. We direct all our fire against Kasongo. Hii Kindiki for now tuachane na yeye. We leave him alone. Let him be. Akipata shida akija nyumbani tutamkaribisha. Mungu akimsaidia akae huko ni sawa. But for now, let us focus on William Ruto na watu yake akina Murkomen. Makobora yote yetu ielekeshwe William Ruto na nani? Na Murkomen.
Gachagua's directive now raises questions about whether the move will ease political tensions between the two camps and pave the way for greater unity in the region.
Wale wasaliti, hao muendelee na hawa. Hawa nimesikia Senator John Medho akiongea Kameme leo amenifurahisha sana. Senator, you have made my day today. Amesema hii watu yote wasaliti ya Kasongo, ile gari ya Kasongo wawekwe ndani na ile mlango ichomelewe na ile gas leader ndio wasitoke.
As the 2027 elections draw closer, attention will be on whether the two sides can set aside their differences and chart a common political path. Reporting for TAS TV, Kiambuthika, my name is Mwangi.
Democracy for Citizen Party leader Rigathi Gachagua has accused Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen of failing to ensure credible investigations into the violence witnessed during the recent Ol-Kalou by-election.
Our reporter Naomi Mora has more.
DCP leader Rigathi Gachagua has accused the Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen of failing to ensure credible investigation into the deadly violence reported during the Ol-Kalou by-election. Speaking in Munuro while celebrating the DCP victory, Rigathi Gachagua claimed the government was downplaying the incidents and avoiding accountability.
Responsibility as a mountain people to help Kenyans correct that situation. And our promise to the rest of Kenyans is that our vote will not be divided, it will be one. We'll have 98% voter turnout and will protect the vote.
The former deputy president further alleged that police and goons disrupted voting between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m., affecting voter turnout. He also warned Mount Kenya politicians against remaining neutral, saying voters will demand clear political positions ahead of 2027 polls.
1 p.m. to 5, there was no voting. The police goons sent by Murkomen disrupted voting. Had they not disrupted the voting, we would have had a voter turnout of 75%.
Also unveiled the party's vote protection strategy ahead of 2027 general election, saying thousands of young people will be mobilized to guard DCP votes at polling stations across the country. He claimed the party plans to deploy at least 200 youth to each polling station.
If the mountain is not divided, tukiongeza our cousins from Ukambani, tuongeze our cousins from Kisii, tuongeze mashemeji yetu wa Maa, tuongeze our cousins from Coast, tuongeze wa Mlembe, tuongeze wale Waluo Nyanza wamekataa mambo ya uburu na dio wengi. Huyu jamaa tutagonga yeye na 15-16 million.
Reporting for TAS TV, I'm Naomi Mungasia.
Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has accused the government of using the police to intimidate citizens and interfere with democratic processes.
Speaking in Kirinyaga, Gachagua condemned the heavy police deployment during the Ol-Kalou by-election, criticized recent campaign violence, and urged residents to safeguard their communities.
He also warned foreign tourists and investors against visiting Kenya, claiming the country is currently unsafe due to rising insecurity and alleged state-sponsored violence.
Grace Tabitha with more.
Speaking in Kirinyaga, a defiant Rigathi Gachagua claimed the police service has lost its independence to rogue politicians, condemning recent campaign violence and heavily deployment of over 2,000 police officers in Ol-Kalou.
Tunakuuliza Murkomen, vijana wawili wameuawa na polisi ambaye ulituma Ol-Kalou. Wewe hujashika hao upeleke kotini. Alafu unasema ati Kenya hakuna shida ya usalama. Ati there is no security crisis in Kenya. Iko. Itakuwa namna gani police service imeingiliwa na goons? Imekuwaje maofisa rogue police officers wana take over Ol-Kalou, wanapiga tear gas mpaka county commissioner?
The former deputy president implored local residents to take charge of their own safety rather than yielding to masked agitators.
If the state cannot protect the people shall protect themselves. The people shall protect themselves from goons and from rogue policemen. We have taken this nonsense for too long and too far.
In a stark warning, Gachagua urged international tourists and foreign investors to stay away from Kenya until next year, declaring the country currently unsafe due to rising insecurity and state-sponsored guns.
Kwa hivyo Kenya is not safe for tourism. It's not safe for investors. Lakini sisi wa Kenya vile hatuwezi hama. Nyinyi watalii mkae huko, msiumizwe. Investors mkae huko, lakini sisi wa Kenya hatuwezi enda.
Reporting for TAS TV, I'm Grace Tabitha.
Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi is urging the church to help bridge political divisions and promote dialogue ahead of the 2027 general election.
Speaking in Nairobi, Mudavadi warned against a repeat of the 2007 post-election violence and called for greater youth empowerment. Our reporter has more details.
Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi is urging the church to take a more active role in promoting dialogue among Kenya's political leaders ahead of the 2027 general election. Speaking to Catholic bishops attending the 21st Plenary Assembly of the Association of Member Episcopal Conferences in Eastern Africa in Nairobi, Mudavadi warned that rising political intolerance and inflammatory rhetoric will reopen old wounds and threaten national cohesion.
The post-election violence that ensued after 2007-8 elections. We lost 1,400 young people to violence. Let us reform. Let us change. Let us build our nations. Let us bring peace.
He called on the church to use its moral authority and quiet diplomacy to bring rival political factions together and help prevent a repeat of the violence that followed the 2007 general election. Mudavadi also expressed concern over the growing number of unemployed and disillusioned young people who are vulnerable to political manipulation and violence.
The church, you have a big footprint. Open the back channels. It's a very powerful tool in diplomacy. Talk to the warring and conflicting parties. Get them to sit under one roof, on the same table, and stop the violence.
Church leaders echoed the call, urging the government to listen to the concerns of young people and address challenges including unemployment and lack of opportunities.
Sarah wants to listen more attentively to what the Spirit is telling us through the vibrance and vitality that comes with youthful society. Not to pay attention to youthful society not only smacks of recklessness, but is also tragically irresponsible.
The 8-day assembly is focusing on finding lasting solutions to challenges facing the youth across the Eastern Africa region. With Kenya heading towards the 2027 general election, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi is urging the church to help bridge political divisions and promote dialogue. He warns that rising political tensions could trigger a repeat of the 2007 post-election violence, while church leaders call for greater youth empowerment and curb political violence. Victoria Mnyazi, TAS TV, Thika. You're watching the Wednesday 3 p.m. news.
We'll be back after this short break with more top stories.
What's up, karibuni sana kwenye sayari ya mapenzi. Ni kipindi tunachozungumzia kuhusu mapenzi, changamoto katika mapenzi, mahusiano ya mapenzi, suluhisho katika mapenzi. Kumbuka ni kila siku ya Alhamisi ukiwa nami Tiza Mwende, nami Ruth Oyo, kuanzia saa 9 hadi saa 10 jioni ndani ya TAS TV.
Mambo vipi? Karibuni sana hapa kwenye Urban Connect.
Here we are talking about trending stories,
vibes,
movies,
udaku,
and games. Remember to join us,
Mwangi
and Regina Brenda,
on every Tuesday from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. on TAS TV.
At TAS TV, every dream deserves a chance. We believe that the next great presenters and reporters starts with an opportunity.
A very good afternoon and thank you for joining us for 3 p.m. news.
Nikiripotia runinga ya TAS, mimi ni Mnyazi.
That is why our attaches aren't just here to learn. They are given priority to create, host and deliver real television shows.
What's up? Karibuni sana kwenye sayari ya mapenzi.
And welcome again to the final whistle whereby football never sleeps.
Karibuni sana hapa kwenye Urban Connect.
We will be welcoming you to our show that is the Sabbath welcoming. Here, talent is discovered, skills are sharpened, and confidence comes alive on screen. Contact us on +254 798 154 042 or send us an email at tastvkenya@gmail.com. You can also visit us at Nema Plaza, 2nd floor along Kenyatta Highway in Thika Town. Join TAS TV, where your dream is our vision.
This week on News Recap, politics took a new turn.
DCP blames the government of not delivering what they promised.
Health concerns sparked a fresh conversation.
The big questions remains to Kenyans. Is SHA still working?
Security issues continued to make headlines, and groundbreaking discoveries captured global attention. These are the stories shaping our world. News Recap, where the week's biggest story come together.
The government has reiterated its commitment to addressing key issues affecting Kenyans, with stakeholders calling for greater collaboration and accountability.
The latest developments have sparked renewed debate on the way forward.
Our reporter Mnyazi has more.
The issue has continued to attract attention, with stakeholders from different sectors weighing in on the matter. Calls for dialogue, cooperation, and actions have intensified as concerns over the situations continue to grow. Stakeholders say addressing the challenges will require a coordinated approach and meaningful engagement among all parties involved.
The Commonwealth Games has really grown. Because you can see even South African sprinters, almost all of them are going. Our own superstar, Mwangi, is there. So it's all about individual thinking. If you think maybe this is a small competition, it's up to you.
As the discussions continue, stakeholders are calling for practical solutions and greater cooperation to address the concerns raised. Reporting for TAS TV, I am Mnyazi.
The Law Society of Kenya has announced a nationwide boycott of court services set for Wednesday, July 22nd, citing concerns over alleged corruption and misconduct within the judiciary.
The society says the action is aimed at pushing for accountability while ensuring urgent legal matters are not disrupted.
Emily Kimani has more on this story.
The Law Society of Kenya has announced a nationwide boycott of court proceedings on Wednesday, July the 22nd, citing alleged corruption and misconduct within the judiciary. Speaking in Machakos, LSK President Charles Kanjama said advocates will not participate in court hearings during the one-day protest. However, filings of new cases will continue, while only urgent matters involving interim orders will proceed. The LSK says the boycott is aimed at pushing for greater accountability and integrity within the judiciary.
Concern of allegations of corruption, judicial misconduct, abuse of office, and unethical conduct by some judicial officers. Number 2, delays in the administration of justice. Advocates continue to experience delays in hearing and determination of matters. Members have reported persistent inefficiencies in court registries.
Reporting for TAS TV, I'm Emily Kimani.
The Ministry of Education has warned county education directors against delays in submitting students' data, saying timely reporting is critical to effective planning and service delivery.
The ministry says accurate and timely information will help ensure proper coordination and support for learners across the county.
Our reporter Alvin Kenga has more.
The Ministry of Education has issued a warning to county education directors over delay in submitting student information. County education officials have been urged to ensure student records are updated and submitted. The ministry says delay in reporting could affect efforts to plan and provide the necessary support and resources for the learners.
We need to engage all the stakeholders as a matter of urgency to identify needs of the learners countrywide. And they said without doing needs assessment, it is not possible for the factory to be useful. And therefore, this meeting becomes very critical because the directors who are here are the ones with the student on the ground. We are happy to announce that this day, after today's engagement, we should be able to come up with a tool to help us know the needs of all the learners so that the factory can be useful in giving specific devices to address specific needs of all the learners so that it becomes useful to them.
The purpose is mainly to be sensitized on the devices that assist learners with challenges, the special needs. These are people who interact with the learners in the field. These are the people who have the data, and also in various forums, they interact with the community and parents of these children. So when they are aware, even in their forums, they are able to explain to all stakeholders on the existence of these devices.
An administration police officer is alleged to have shot and killed his partner before taking his own life in Kimbimbi, Mwea East Sub-County, Kirinyaga County.
The tragic incident has left residents shocked as police investigate what led to the deaths. Tere Sharon with more.
Residents of Mwea woke up to a shocking incident after an administration police officer and his partner were found inside their house.
Leo asubuhi tumeamkiwa na kisanga huku Kebebe kwa askari mmoja alikuwa ameweka duka kwa ploti yetu. Sasa huyo askari walikuwa analala na bibi yake Karoti, naye watoto walikuwa analala kwa duka. Sasa asubuhi ya leo tukasikia ati wameua bibi na akajiua.
According to the police, fellow officers became concerned after they were unable to reach the officer. They went to his house and after getting no response, forced the door open. Inside, they found the officer and his partner dead. Preliminary investigations indicate the officer shot his partner before turning the gun on himself.
Amekuwa wakizozana mizozano ya kinyumbani. Mara kwa mara wanapigana, bibi anaenda, alafu bwana anamuendea. Wanakaa pamoja. Hawakuwa wanakaa sana kama hawako pamoja.
Shida ya kuzozana mimi sikujua. Juu huyu askari venye nimemjua, kwa hiyo miaka yote amekuwa hapa. Mimi sikuwaiona akiwa na ubaya yote na sikuwaiona kama ako na makasiriko. Sasa sijui ni wapi ilifikia ndio ikafika hiyo kiwango ya kupiga bibi yake risasi na yeye kujipiga risasi kujitoa uhai.
Police recovered the service firearm believed to have been used in the incident. While detectives continue investigations, the motive behind the shooting, the bodies were taken to the mortuary for post-mortem examination. Reporting for TAS TV, I'm Tereshal.
As school fires continue across the country, education experts say the problem extends beyond indiscipline.
They cite exam pressure, harsh discipline, poor school management, illegal levies, and limited student voice as key factors.
Stakeholders are calling for stronger leadership, greater parental involvement, and better platforms for students to air their concerns.
Mwakambigo with more details.
As school fires continue to be reported across the country, education experts say the problem goes beyond acts of indiscipline. They point to mounting exam pressure, harsh disciplinary measures, Collective punishment, poor school management, and illegal school levies are some of the factors fueling frustration among students. Child rights organizations also say many learners feel their concerns are ignored by teachers and school administrations, leaving them with few channels to air their grievances.
We as students, we don't want to do that exam at that particular time. Also, it was for the mock exams. But you find that the administration, the school, is really stressing on you that you must do the exam, but you find that the students are not ready to do the exam at that time and moment.
Hata sisomi, wapata kazi ile nikufikiria venye saa hiyo italipwa, tarudi aje, kirudi ulize nani alivunja, useme ujui wanze mambo mingi. Hata tu wapata hata uwezi concentrate saa zingine.
Authorities continue investigating the fires. Stakeholders are calling for stronger school leadership, greater parental involvement, and platforms that allow students to express their concerns before they escalate into destructive actions.
Some of these principles, if you look into depth, some of them are about to retire. And some of these charges are not even receipted. You have seen them just going collecting money. They don't issue receipts to the parents. And that money is just used for their own use, just without any other reason because they are about to retire. We cannot allow a situation whereby principals in some secondary schools are minting money from poor parents who are even struggling.
Unakuta wazazi mara nyingi ndio tunafanya makosa kwa sababu hatukai na watoto vizuri. Lakini tukikaa na watoto vizuri, tukiwaelekeza, hizi jambo ya kuchoma shule zinaweza kufungua.
The issue of intimidation and threats to parents should also stop when it comes to school meetings, because you have seen people being threatened, being intimidated, and even after resolution by parents, the school principals do contrary of what the parents agreed upon.
Reporting for TAS TV, my name is Mwangi.
Families of 3 men who disappeared in Nairobi's Mathare area have filed a case in court demanding answers over their whereabouts.
The move comes amid growing pressure on security agencies to account for the missing men.
Our reporter Jacqueline Accord has more details.
Nearly a week after Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja and DCI Director Mohamed Amin failed to attend a court session, families of 3 missing men from Mathare have been taking legal action by filing a case in court. The missing individuals have been identified as Michael Holo, Evans Okoth, and Mark Millian Cario. According to their relatives, the men were allegedly taken by people suspected to be police officers. It is claimed the officers were not wearing official uniform in an attempt to conceal their identities.
Because as much as replies have been filed by other members in the National Police Service, there are questions that can only be answered by those in command responsibility. They are the only ones who can deploy. They are the only ones who can give direction. They are the only ones who can hold individual officers responsible.
The family say they have not received any update from security agency regarding the whereabouts of their loved ones. There is also no confirmation on whether the men are alive.
We have cried, we have talked, tumeenda media, tumejaribu kama binadamu, kama mwananchi wa kawaida, mali tunaweza fika, tumejaribu. Kwa saizi mali imefika, mali sauti yetu iweze fika, tunaomba Mungu akaweze kutufikishia. Kama kuna mali amewekwa, naomba usaidizi, mnisaidie aregeshe kwangu.
Lawyers representative the family, together with human rights organizations, say they have filed the case to compel police to provide answer and be held accountable under the law. The relatives say they are living in distress and fear. Their appeal to the government to urgently intervene, establish what happened, and ensure the safety of their missing men. I'm reporting for TAS TV. My name is Jacqueline Hakoth.
The United States is shifting its focus in Africa from aid to trade and investment.
The new strategy aims to strengthen economic partnerships, attract private investments, and create more jobs across the continent.
US officials say the move will promote sustainable growth and deepen commercial ties with African nations.
African leaders have welcomed the initiative, calling for partnerships that support local businesses and deliver shared economic benefits.
Ruth Oyo has more.
The United States is shifting its engagement with Africa by focusing on trade and investments than traditional aid. The new approach aims to strengthen economic partnership, attract private investments, and expand business opportunities across the continent.
We all know that Africa is the next major engine of global growth, and the opportunity before us is clear. By 2050, Africa will be home to over 2.5 billion people with projected purchasing power of over $16 trillion. Yet U.S. exports to sub-Saharan Africa remain below 1% of our total trade. This is a gap that we intend to close.
U.S. officials says the strategy will help create jobs, support innovation, and promote sustainable economic growth. Africa leaders have welcomed the move, saying increased investments can boost local industries and improve livelihood.
I think there's some things that could be improved in the investment environment in terms of making the regulatory environment a little easier. I think it's hard to kind of get things going sometimes. It's a little slower. So those are conversations and feedback we have regularly with government and different institutions.
Often we hear feedback from U.S. companies when they're having trouble in a country saying, maybe the regulations are not as streamlined as they need to be. Maybe the tax code is too burdensome, too complicated. Maybe the customs evaluation is not clear, is not consistent. So being able to have that specific feedback from U.S. companies has really helped us to go into government meetings and say, here are kind of 1, 2, 3, the top issues in the business enabling environment.
The shift makes new chapter in U.S.-Africa relations, with both sides seeking stronger long-term economic cooperation. Reporting for TAS TV, I'm Ruth Oyo.
And that's all we had for you in this edition.
Thank you for choosing to spend part of your afternoon with us.
For breaking news and continuing coverage, stay connected through our digital platforms.
Have a safe and pleasant afternoon.
Goodbye.
This week on News Recap, politics took a new turn.
DCP blames the government of not delivering what they promised.
Health concerns sparked a fresh conversation.
The big question remains to Kenyans. Is SHA still working?
Security issues continue to make headlines. And groundbreaking discoveries captured global attention. These are the stories shaping our world. News Recap, where the week's biggest story come together.
At TAS TV, every dream deserves a chance. We believe that the next great presenters and reporters starts with an opportunity.
A very good afternoon and thank you for joining us for 3 p.m. news. Nikiripotia runinga ya TAS, mimi ni Komen Masi.
That is why our attaches aren't just here to learn. They are given priority to create, host and deliver real television shows.
What's up? Karibuni sana kwenye sayari ya mapenzi.
And welcome again to the final whistle whereby football never sleeps.
Karibuni sana hapa kwenye Urban Connect.
We will be welcoming you to our show that is the Sabbath Welcoming. Here, talent is discovered, skills are sharpened, and confidence comes alive on screen. Contact us on +254 798 154 042 or send us an email at tastvkenya@gmail.com. You can also visit us at Nema Plaza, 2nd floor along Kenyatta Highway in Thika Town. Join TAS TV, where you